That's right. I get so excited. Ooh, how I like it. I try, but I can't fight it. Oh, you're dancing real close. Plus it's real slow. You know what you're doing, don't you? Baby, when we're I get so excited. Come on.
It's tricky when someone says, oh, tell me how you did it, but that's what I wanted to do. Like, surely you cannot want to do everything I did. Hi my loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new on this channel, if you are a returning subby, thank you so much for popping back by. So this is a highly requested video, and I decided, let me finally tell you guys the tips and tricks and how I usually plan my itinerary, especially if I travel, whether solo or with someone, of which I've only traveled with a person once. All my other traveling ventures have been solo trips. So I will share with you guys how I do it if I'm alone or if I'm with a person. And then I am going to obviously just help you plan a trip. It's very hard for me to pay attention to each person who sends me a DM asking me, because it takes so much time. And most importantly, you guys need to learn to do your own research. Everything is online, everything is available on YouTube, things are available on Google. All you have to do is just research. So I am going to touch on the tips and the budgets, just everything you might be very much interested in knowing. And without wasting any more time, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let's jump straight into the video. I am not going to touch more on countries that need visas, because I believe that most people who are going to be interested in watching this video or my video will be people who want to travel to countries in Southeast Asia, where we know most countries here do not require visa, or they do provide visa upon arrival. So when it comes to getting your visa, it all depends on each country. Please do your research and make sure that you understand what does that country you want to go to require from you. And eventually in the future, if I do have to encounter such, I will discuss that. Obviously, when I traveled to Taiwan, it was for employment, so that visa process is different from someone who's traveling as a tourist. Besides, I don't want to dive into that on this video. So let's talk about people who want to travel around Southeast Asia. I do understand that a lot of people, especially here in Taiwan, do want to travel around Southeast Asia, which is very great. I suggest that you guys do that. But people have been asking me, like, girl, how did you do this? How did you do that? And yeah, I'm going to share with you guys, but do your research. Like, nobody told me to. All I needed to do is just hop on the internet, go on Google, get into YouTube and find videos that are going to help me understand more about the place that I want to travel to, expectations, and basically everything I need to look forward to. So if you guys didn't know, I have been a fan of YouTube for years. So the first time that I actually decided that I want to travel was when I watched a lot of travel vlogs, especially from girls from the UK who would travel to Southeast Asia and all these nice countries this side. And I was very inspired by how they planned their trips and how they went about going to all these nice places. So that's what I always do. Even now, that's what I do, because I'm currently planning a trip. So that's what I'm doing. So this is how I plan my trips. The first thing I do is I research. I want to know the culture in that country. I want to know habits in that country. I want to know the weather in that country. How is the weather going to be like during my travel days? And I want to know about the food and the culture. Those things that help me understand and decide if I'm still interested in going to a country or not. And then if I'm still interested, then I hop on to YouTube. YouTube is my first first attempt in finding out, you know, how the scenery is like. So I will search, let's say for example, I want to go to Taiwan. So I will say travel vlog Taiwan, or Taiwan travel vlog, or traveling to Taiwan, and then I will see all the vlogs that will pop up, and then I click to ones that I feel like they are going to be very interesting, obviously depending on the title or the thumbnail or all the other details that are included in me deciding which video I'm going to watch. And I'm very specific in watching those videos. I want to see these places. I want to see how they are like. I want to see the ambience, you know, the vibe. I want to see how's life in that country, basically from another person's perspective, especially someone who has been there already, and just see if I'm really sure that that's the country I want to go to. And then what I do when I'm watching those videos, I take notes, right? So I use my notepad to just take notes of places that I found were very cute, or places that I was like, oh, actually I'm very interested to try that when I go to that country, or places that they really recommend in those videos. So because I'm not a full-time travel content creator, that's why I don't normally share like or suggest places when I travel, because that's not my brand. But I do just share places that I go to without actually going straight into details. So I look for videos or people who do that full time, and that's where I get to find all the information that I need. And then next I go on to Google, and then when I go to Google, I then search these places one by one. I try to look for things like the menu. I look for things like other people's reviews. I want to know, okay, so all these places are nice, but which places really catch my attention? And then I start to draft my places that I want to go to before planning the actual itinerary. I know that's, you know, that's how I do it, because if I know that going to a place I'll have so much to do, then I'll be interested in going to that place. So as soon as I realize that actually I have so much to do, I'm interested in doing A, B, C, D, then I now start to plan. So let's say in a country, obviously places are scattered around, right? So the first thing I want to do is look at the map. I go on Google, I search map of Taiwan or Taiwan map, and then I want to see on the map, where do I find this place that I want to go to? Where is this place located on the map, and where is that place located on the map? And that is how I'm going to plan my routes, right? Because I want to have a plan. When I go to that country, how am I going to move from point A to point B? And how do I even plan my flights, and how do I book my flights? If I go to a country and I still need to book domestic flights to move between or bounce between the places, how do I do that? The first thing you want to do is go on the map and check these places you want to go to. How far are they from each other, or how close are they to each other? And then one of the most important things that I have to do is figure out which days I want to travel around, and then I go online and search flights I search my country of departure to my destination. Example, flights from Taiwan to Thailand. So I'm going to see a list of websites and stuff, and then I go to each website just to see the estimated fees and what I think is okay, you know, the travel times and all of that, the luggage allowance. I check all those things, guys, before I book my flights. I make sure I check, because I want to book a flight that is going to be convenient for me. As much as, yes, I want it to be maybe cheaper, but I also want it to be convenient for me in terms of comfort, in terms of preference, as well as just, you know, having that allowance to take more clothes and just be convenienced more or less. But what I want to do is that I want to go to websites such as, so when you go online, you want to go to websites such as Skyscanner. Skyscanner is a very popular website here in Asia. It helps you figure out flights from pretty much across the world. But I first got across Skyscanner here in Asia. So you go to Skyscanner, you search, and it'll show you different airlines that you might look into, and it'll show you from the cheapest one to the most expensive airline. So you want to do that, and then that's where you decide, okay, if I'm leaving for a week, then you search those dates, and then you go on the website, you reserve your flights. So after reserving your flights, you already have your flights. Now you know which activities to do. Then you go back to the drawing board. Now you want to see, remember I said you need to look at the map. Now you want to see, okay, if let's say in your itinerary you need to connect flights, like example, if you travel to Thailand, you need to travel to Bangkok and then take a domestic flight from Bangkok to Phuket. So you want to book that while you are booking your flights, because Anisha, you will check your map. You have to check your map, because how are you going to move around not knowing the country you're going to? You need to understand if you're going to Phuket, where is Phuket in that country? Where is it located? So that when you're there, you understand and what's going on around you. So you do all of that, and then you go back to your itinerary. That's where you are now planning your activities per day. So you start with the first day. That you travel to a country, you don't count that as your first day. That's your day of travel. So that day, anything can happen, from flights delays, delays from immigration. A lot happens in such a way that by the time you get to your hotel, or by the time you check in, you are exhausted. You just want to freshen up. In most cases, just get something to eat and rest. That's what happens if you travel on the first date. By the time you get there, you just want to relax. You don't want anything to do with traveling and stuff, because a lot of things can happen between you traveling to that place and you getting to your hotel. So be mindful of that. So let's count from the following day after arriving in a country. That should count as your first day. So if you want to go for like maybe 5 days, then you say, okay, this day is reserved for, depending on each person's preference. That's why I prefer traveling alone or traveling with just one person, because it's easy to plan. If it's just you and one person, it's easy to convince each other and say, dude, I think it would work. What do you think? And then you are able to come into, conclusion without complicating things. But if you travel alone, it depends on what you want. So if I travel alone, usually the first day I wake up in the morning, I shower, I relax. It's a slow day. I try to make sure that day is specifically to just relax, adapt to the country. I'd normally go to a beach club where I can just chill, try new food, maybe rest around the pool, just take it easy. Walk around, the place where I've booked, and take a tour around my hotel or villa, and then I relax. So the first days for me are for rest. Just relax, get used to the environment and the area that you at. I want to see the hotel where I am and how to move around, and try to figure out basically a lot of things on the first day. Let's say maybe if I want to do activities, that's the day I would even go to the hotel reception, and ask them, how do I move around, or which tour guides are cheaper to use, and just use that day to figure out exactly what is going to happen. Because it's easy to plan a trip while you are still in your comfort zone, and it's something else when you're already there in that country. So it's like you've already planned your trip, but now you are in the country. Now you need to make sure that your plans proceed, they happen, they take place. So on the first day, I use that day to also take as many pictures, as many reels, as many, just chilled vibes. And then the next day is going to be the activity day. That is the day that is going to be the busiest probably. I want to try activities. So with activities, I want to check a lot of things. How far are they from each other? How long the activity is going to last? And how are you going to move around? So make sure when you book your activities, you book with tour guides that are going to pick you up from your hotel. In most cases, they do pick you up, and then also that are going to drop you off. And if it's going to be a whole day trip, make sure that you have all your necessities with you, you have all your important stuff and things with you, and you have clothes to change just in case. Let's say maybe you are doing island hopping activities, you want to pack your bikinis, you want to also pack maybe a dress, something to change, you know, because it could rain on the way, it could be too hot, you'd want to change just to take more pictures and all of that. And also you want to be someone who is going to be aware right beforehand, Uguti, the activities that you book, are they going to require you to be in the sun for too long? Are they going to offer you lunch and all of that? So you want to be prepared with everything. And then you want to balance your trip. That's what I like to do, because I don't want to go on a trip and come back exhausted. Why am I going on a trip? To relax, right? Do I want to go and feel more exhausted and come back to work I'm still feeling exhausted? No. So what you want to do is have balance. So balance your days. If today you are resting, tomorrow have a packed day. The following day, maybe have a slightly packed day, not too busy, but not too chill. And then on another day, you know, have a balance so that you know, Uguti, you have rested. At the same time, you've done as much as you can. Then you want to call and search online when you get to the country. Search more, and you want to compare, obviously, with tour guides and, you know, people who are going to offer you all these amazing deals to show you around the country. You need to check which ones are convenient for you, which ones fit around your budget. And then also you want to know, Uguti, whatever you do, you are going to be safe. So when you go to a place, make sure that you check the place that you go to before you go there. Go online, search on Google. Okay, you are going to the beach club. You're going to Finn's Beach Club. Okay, if Finn's Beach Club in Injani menu, how's the menu like? And then you are going there prepared. Okay, maybe you've already checked online what food are you going to eat when you get there. So it's easy for you to just show them a picture and be like, I want to drink this, or I want to eat this, I like to try this. And also it'll help you be on track when it comes to your budget. You will know how much you've spent or how much you have left to spend. And then you want to also be someone who is going to communicate with your family and friends when you are on vacation. Don't neglect your family and friends, because at the end of the day, you're in a foreign country, so people want to know that you are safe. But most importantly, when you travel, it's important that you also check that you are not feeling well. Do not travel if you're not feeling well. Also, when you travel with people, be mindful. Things might not go as planned, so be open-minded to say, okay, if plans change, then guys, what are we going to do, or how am I going to move around the situation? But after figuring out your itinerary, then you want to move on to your budget. So your budget is very important, because your budget comes after your itinerary. As soon as you have the list of things you want to do and activities, then you move on to drafting your amounts. Like a day, I want to maybe spend this amount of money, or each day I'm willing to spend this amount of money. Then you sum up everything. So what you also want to do is be prepared. Start to prepare and start packing prior, like maybe a month before your trip. Start knowing what's okay. If I'm gonna go to that place, what are some of the clothes I want to pack, and try to pack smart. You don't want to pack too much, but you want to pack smart. Pack things that you can shift around, things that are going to be light on weight, and things that you know what you are going to really enjoy wearing, and things that you know what they are very breathable, because in most times, or in most cases, when you travel to Southeast Asian countries, they are very hot. So you want to look into all of that. And then the most important thing you want to do when you travel to the country is check each country's requirements. They are not the same, so make sure that you check those things prior. And you also want to be someone who is going to compare as much as you can. How can you go to a country and not compare? Compare flights, compare tickets, compare restaurants, compare everything. So you do your own research. And even when it comes to activities, you compare activities. You might find that a lot of companies offer the same activity, but different packages and different fees. So you want to see which ones you like and which ones are going to cater for your needs. But most importantly, guys, when you go on a trip, please be cautious. Be cautious of your surroundings. There's things like human trafficking, and you know, when you're in a foreign country, anything can happen. People can steal your stuff, or you can lose your belongings, and you can also be in a situation whereby you need help. So be aware of your surroundings. Don't get too excited all the time. Just be chilled, and make sure if you are going to be in a group setting, make sure you guys are aware. When you get there, you might like different things, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna like the same things all the time. Zitshele, when you travel to a country, whether you're traveling alone or with people, tell yourself, this trip is for me. And if you're traveling with other people, tell yourself, no matter what happens, I am still going to enjoy this trip. Also, when you're traveling with people, give yourselves privacy and give yourselves time. So be aware of your group differences and talk and plan. And if you need to give each other space and privacy during the trip, then do that. But planning a trip is not hard. All you need to do is just do your research. It's tricky when someone says, tell me how you did it, but that's what I wanted to do. Like, surely you cannot want to do everything I did. You know, yes, maybe most activities, yes, but zikhona nawo izinto that are going to make your trip different from mine, or things that made my trip different from another person's trip. Because also, when we go to a country, importantly, be safe. Be safe, guys. When you go to these countries, be safe. At the end of the day, we are black young girls, and when we go to these countries, anything can happen. So be safe. Don't be too excited if a guy offers you a drink, and don't be too excited if people are making you feel uncomfortable or being too friendly in a way that is making you feel uncomfortable. Also, at your hotel where you've booked, keep your belongings and your important documents safe. Hide them if you need to hide them, or I don't know, just try to make sure your documentations are kept safe. And also, if there's a specific kind of meal that is offered to you and you don't like it, it's okay to reject food, because you don't want to end up feeling sick because of maybe food poisoning, or you don't want to end up not feeling well because of whatever reasons based on the food that you've tried. So when you go to a foreign country, or you're going on vacation, you want to be open-minded that obviously it's going to take a lot of research, guys. Don't expect people to just give you information. Do your research, and there's so many websites you can look into. Example, Expedia, Scoots, Booking.com, Agoda, Trip.com. There's so many websites out there. All you have to do is try to figure out what do you like and decide on how are you going to move around based on your budget. But nevertheless, I hope that you guys did learn something from this video. And when you plan your trips, remember, and also when you get to the country, remember to make sure that you have stable network, you have stable Wi-Fi, and also you exchange your currency at the airport. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on my next video. Goodbye.